Welcome to the Beyond Belief series, where we're taking a soulful look at the Bible. Here we explore our divine existence and get real about the conversations we were once afraid to have. This is esoteric insight, truth telling, and honest self investigation. We're sharing how old fear based stories have sparked an empowered shift in our awareness. It's going to be fun, y'all. It's live. It's safe to be here because we are definitely going beyond belief. You can find us live on YouTube Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Be sure to follow the show, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation. Leave us a kind rating or a comment if this speaks to your soul. All right, family, let's get into it. Welcome to the show. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is the Beyond Belief series where we've been taking a soulful look at these Bible scriptures and viewing them through an esoteric lens. And that's what the vet has, been showing us how the Bible is all about us. And it is definitely one of our roadmaps to our own existence and our own power. And this is her expertise. This is her space. And so I'm so glad to have her back. We've been diving into Reverend Ike's health, the secrets of health, joy, and prosperity. He has a science of living study guide. And
Yes.
we've been kind of diving into that. I really like it. Last week she wasn't here, and I'm glad to have her alongside of me, even amidst her sorrowful experience right now of losing a loved one. But we are so glad that you have taken the time to come to the channel today to continue this conversation. So thank you so much. I honor you for that. And
Thank you.
before we get started, I want to, for everyone who is viewing this episode right here, I see a lot of people viewing the episode, but I don't see the likes. If you could give us a thumbs up, just hit the like button. If you are viewing this on your television, you can kind of navigate to the like button and just like this, because when you like it, it pushes the content out, does something to the algorithms, but it pushes the content out. And this content, we believe, is so important, is very valuable to humanity. And so I appreciate you liking this episode and all the episodes. In fact, you can go back and like the other episodes, right? And so also hit your notification button so you can be informed about when new content is dropping at the Fear to Freedom Project. So I'm glad to have you back this week. Welcome back.
Well, I am glad to be back this week. Listen, I listened to last week's show and it was amazing.
Thank
I
you.
love chapter 2. It's and you covered it well. And I love your esoteric look into it. It was straightforward and I just love that. So
Well,
this
that's
week,
funny because, well, before you get into it, that's funny because didn't really have a script, and I was going based on what I felt in my heart. And as I talked about last week, I went on a week-long plant medicine retreat, and I'm
hmm
still processing everything that took place. It was amazing. It was life-changing. It was an awe experience. It was a wow, it was all of that and some. And so this will be the last Beyond Belief series on this channel. The last episode. We've been at this for over 4 months now, and that 4 months went by very quickly. I did
it
not
did.
even, yeah, it went by. This is episode 19. So this is almost the 5th month, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, that's really cool. I'm proud
it
of us
is.
for that.
Yeah.
I've been opening myself up to new and exciting content to share. So I am still processing everything and being taught and led in a way that will be good for the channel and good for everyone. But again, we're going to
hmm
move this conversation over
hmm
to the Southern Mystic Girl YouTube channel. That
Yay.
is the Southern Mystic Girl YouTube channel. Tell us about your channel. Tell everybody about your channel.
Well, it's this particular the Southern Mystic Girl is, my channel where I break down those esoteric Bible scriptures. And it really is going to be more like a Soul Sunday service, quick little blurb of taking and dissecting and giving you a roadmap and making you feel empowered in your own journey, in your own soul story, because you're your own Bible. Just like you're your own guru, you're your own Bible. So look what scriptures you're manifesting, So it's that. It's the way that I choose to look at the Bible is an esoteric way and a very mystic way. So you're looking for symbols, you're looking for these allegory stories to be told to you and broke down to you, where it is really talking about your soul. And that's what I want to get into that conversation. Now, you are the most amazing host. And I cannot wait for you to help me as my co host over there because you ask amazing questions. And you ask those questions from a standpoint of not so rigid in religion, but curious, from a standpoint of being curious. And that's what the mind has to be. The mind has to be curious in order to go deeper. So that's
Well,
what it's
I
about.
appreciate that because very curious. I am
Yes.
so curious. And even more so, since the plant medicine retreat, I just been opened up to more of myself. And so
Yes.
I am remembering more of who I am and
Yes.
remembering, my soul. And so I am excited about that. So, yes, so we will definitely be over at the Southern Mystic Girl. Why you call yourself that? The Southern Mystic Girl. Where you get that from?
I don't know. My spirit guide said, gave me
Okay.
that name. I think because mystical things have always fascinated me. It has to be. If you are a channel at 7, I started channeling at 7. I started seeing ancestors at 7 in my room. And so you got to
Wow.
believe in something that's bigger than you. I've always believed in something bigger than I because I've always known that there was something that I was connected to that explain life through death. And
Mm.
that I've been able to talk to the other side for years now. The other side has guided me, even as I sit here in Birmingham, Alabama, to bury my ex husband. I can feel him. He's talking to me. I got to get comfortable. I'm at my aunt's house.
Mhm.
And so that kind of mysticism and being from Alabama. I'm a proud Alabamian. I am. You, can you tell them how proud I am? I am a
I love
proud
it.
Alabamian. There is nothing about my state that I hate, and it is what has given me grounded roots. And the ancestors that speak to
Mm.
me here speaks to me like this in no other place. And that's why I love home. And that's why you call me the Southern Mystic, because I believe in the mysticism of the Bible and the coding of it through esoteric internal mapping. And I am a Southerner, proud to be a Southerner. Roll Tide.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well,
Yes,
thank you for that. So, chapter 3 is titled They Can't Take That Away from You.
I love
Reverend
it.
Ike, you go ahead and get after it. Yeah.
Listen, you said something. You said, I'm remembering more of myself. Well, this is exactly what Reverend Ike is referencing. This is an esoteric verse. If you've never ever seen one, this is one for you, baby. So it's Matthew's 6:19 through 21. And I'm going to read it as he has it in the book. It says, for lay up for yourself treasures upon earth, where moth and rust don't corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart also be. Okay, now, that's a whole bunch of words for one thing. It's about remembering who you are. Now, how do you remember who you are? Well, first of all, you are not these limiting beliefs that the world has put on us. And that's what the first part of that verse is saying to not think of yourself, lay not your, it's this English that's the King James version of it, but to not think of yourself as these limiting beliefs of the world. Don't think of yourself as a powerless Black girl with uh, limited whatever it is. That is not who you are. Because when you base your existence, base your oneness on man, guess what happens? They can cut you off. But if you lay your treasures up in heaven, which is what? Your higher consciousness, your internal belief to who you really are. It's the who you are. It's the who you are before you were broken. It's the who you
Mm.
are.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? It
Mm.
is the who you are before the bills came. It is the who you are before the molestation came. It's the who you are before all of these things said to you, you're not that.
It's the who you are when you was frolicking in the stars with your soul, with your guardian
Hmm.
angel. That's what it is, you know?
It's the who. It is.
That's the who you are. It's so funny you said this
Yes.
because when I thought about this scripture, this is funny because all of this scripture in my head was about tangible stuff.
Mm,
That's what I thought. Lay up your treasures, like
mm-hmm.
don't focus on tangible treasures of the world, that your treasures are laid up and stored up in heaven somewhere, so you got to actually wait until you die to get them. I'm just being 100. This is where my mind was, right? So
Right.
I'm so glad that we're having this conversation and you're breaking it down, because that's what the medicine was. It teaches you about yourself, your own soul. Yeah, knowing, remembering who you are and who you were. So that's good stuff. You still there? I think that we are having a little bit of technical difficulty, and I am going to, yes, she's coming back in. There you go.
So sorry about that.
No, that's okay. But I was saying that I was thinking about, the treasures being stored up. Like, don't store up your treasures here. Don't worry about
Hmm.
all of the tangible things because somebody can break in and steal them, but that your treasures are in heaven. And so you got to wait until you die to get your treasures. You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
was saying that the medicine teaches you to remember who you are. It's all about you, your divine self. This is so
Yes.
good. That's exactly what my ancestors
Yes.
were talking about this morning. Okay, go ahead. You go.
Yes. No, this you prompted this conversation when you said, I'm remembering. Because this is what this scripture is telling us, to remember that you're not a part of this. You're not a part of the limiting beliefs that the matrix has you believing. That is not who you are. That who you are is you. You're the archetype of the archetype. You are God. God is in
Yes.
you. And there's no way
Yes.
that you can come here and lay up what God is in you on this earth and declare you not to be effective. What?
Whoa.
That's what
Woo.
this scripture is about. This scripture is not about, our monies, because we identify with material things so much
Yes.
that we attach our worth, our self to it. And so then
Yes.
scripture then comes to us and say, well, you can only measure yourself with the amount of money that you have in your pocket. And so that's how you measuring yourself to a God that has all things. You are
Yes.
the all in the all things.
You're gonna make me flip up in here, girl. Goodness.
That's what I want to empower people to know, that you are the all in the all things, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Going through trauma, going through drama, going through, you are all. You just got to show up with your power. But we've turned our power
Yes,
off.
and this is what Reverend Ike is saying. Nobody can take that from you. You see, it when you people can take away when you measure yourself to money or tangible
Right.
things, those things can be taken away from you, because if you measure yourself to that, if you then it's taken away from you, then you of course you're gonna lower your measure. stick.
Mhm.
You're going to lower the
Mm.
measuring stick, right? The measuring stick will shrink. And so
I love that.
that's not what it is. Yes, yes, because
I
we
love
pretty much
that.
use a measuring stick. Everybody's using a measuring stick against everyone else to see where they are. And I don't have to do that anymore. I'm so happy about that. And I'm happy about understanding and remembering who I am. And it's just, it's so good. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't unring that bell. Once you get the blueprint to you, which is you are God and God and you are one, and there's no separation between you and God, and all of your ancestors dwell in this peaceful place of God, and that you can connect to the power of God because you are God. You can't connect to something that you're not. Even if you wanted to charge your phone, you have to actively put it into a port in order for it to receive the electricity. Well, that's our connectivity with our oneness. The small, still voice that says, no matter what's in my bank account, I'm more than this. No matter what I'm going through, I'm more than this. No matter whether he stays or goes, I'm more
Right.
than this. And you know, that none
Yes.
of this is who I am. I just love it. I love it. When we can
I
look at the
love that.
Bible esoterically, Deb, I think it gives us more power.
It
I think it
does.
gives
It
us more
absolutely
power.
does. Yes, because the way that we have been taught is oppressive. It is oppressive and it has stolen the truth of who we are. And I'm telling you, I'm going back to the ancient
Mhm.
medicine, the ancient
Mhm.
teachings of my ancestors because that's what they are guiding me towards. And you see, this is so important because whenever you change, you set your intention, every thought, every intention, every word, every action heals 7 generations backwards and
Yeah,
seven
and forward.
generations forward. That's
Mhm.
important because our ancestors, they were unable, they were unable in so many situations. They had to hide, they were fearful, and they could not express themselves the true nature of who they were. It could have been beaten out of them, you never know, right? So they had
Absolutely.
to hide. So it's important for us to set our intentions and change our words and our thinking back to our original state, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our God
Back to our
consciousness.
originals. Yes. Which, and I love the way Reverend Ike says it. He often refers to it as God in me. I love that. And you know, I've been saying that since for years now. God in me blesses the God in you. And I got that from him. But I want to go back to that point that you made that was so poignant about, our ancestors not being able to live their full lives because of the oppression. And you're going back to our ancestors' way of looking at things. Let me tell you why that's so important. It was so important that they cheated and took the medicine of our ancestors and put it in a
Yes.
Bible and used it and weaponized it against us. You are supposed to
Yes.
go back to your oneness because our ancestors just taught us one thing: the law of oneness goes through everything, runs through every current, and every current is a part of this. It's just amazing how this ancient knowledge is found in every script that's leading us back to ourselves. Something to be said about
No,
that.
that's so true. Yes, that's so powerful. And that is what my ancestors were talking to me about today, just today.
Mm,
You understand that the medicine is still teaching me and talking to me. And this is exactly what was said today, how our teachings was weaponized. That's exactly what I mean, that word, the word was used today in my quiet time. So we have to get back to remembering family.
yeah,
We have to remember
yeah,
who we really are and not be
yes.
afraid. We have to be unapologetic in this attempt to go back to ourselves. Yeah,
Hmm.
and not apologize for it, not apologize for our ancient teachings and our ancient medicine and the ways of our ancestors. I'm all about it. I'm all in. I'm telling you.
It kept our generations going. This is the
Yes.
medicine that soothed us. This is the
Yes.
medicine that fed us. This is the medicine that raised us. That weaponized weapon of truth that I'm just going to say it, that the establishment, the whites that were in
Yes,
control, used to keep
absolutely.
my ancestors in bondage, really is showing up in them now. You know, it's a boomerang. What you tried to
Yes.
do, I'm so sorry, you know, but this truth that you snatched away from my people, that gave the whole world medicine, cannot be, I don't think it can be put under the covers anymore. It's
It can't be
important to,
denied. It will not be
that's the
denied.
word.
Yes, it
We are
can't be
awakened now.
denied. And it's not, I don't hate anyone. I just, the truth has
No.
to be spoken. That's all. Very
Yeah.
radically, unapologetically, but in love. I am coming in, I'm
Love.
coming in
Love.
love, you know? Yeah, yeah, in the highest and the truest form. But I am going to speak the truth. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
it is. So I think that was the most important thing for chapter 3. You know, they can't
Hmm.
take away who God has imprinted you to be, because it's you are the allspark of God. You know, you are a current of God. So that imprint cannot be taken away from you. I don't care if you miss it this lifetime and don't get it until the next or the next. It just cannot be. You can't be away from your creator. That is not how the system is set up. That would be another system. That would be a system inside of a system. That's just not how it works. So with go ahead.
Well, that we answered the question. I try to always bring some questions in there. We answered the question of why is it your right to feel good about yourself, and we actually answered it because of our ancestors. That's why it's your right. It's your right also because of the God in you, right? It is the God because you are source. You come from source. You are source. Everything that is within you is
Hmm.
powerful and right. It is inherent that we feel good about ourselves. Why would God come here and not feel good about itself? Why? Why would God send us here and drop us off? That would be the mean God that, we were taught that if you don't do this, you don't do that, then there's a God that's up there that's looking at you, shaking the finger and saying, you are not holy. You are not righteous. That is not true. That
And
is
that would
not
be
true.
the system within the system.
Yeah.
You know, it would be fighting itself. It would be
Yes.
fighting itself. And
Yeah.
when you fight against yourself, you divide. That's why it doesn't
Yes.
make any sense.
It does not make any sense. We cannot be separated from ourselves.
Hmm.
It's impossible to be separated from God. That
Hmm.
it's just impossible. And so, yeah, it's important for you to feel good about yourself, family. Why is it also so important for you to know your true source?
Identifying your source takes all of your other energy that you've given away to everybody else, and it puts it back on source. You know, if that's a easy way for you to look at it, like when you identify source, and source being in you, not
Mhm.
coming to you, but in you and through you, well, then you take all the energy that you've given to all these other idle energy
Yes.
suckers, and you put
Yes.
it back in its rightful place.
Mm.
I don't need you to suck my energy. I don't need you to tell me who I'm not. I don't believe
Yes.
you.
Yes, yes. It's very empowering to know your true source because then no one can come in and tell you something different and you believe it, right? It
Right.
doesn't matter where you go, no one can tell you who you are anymore. You are empowered, so you don't have to get angry, you don't have to argue about it. Yeah, because you already know your true source. That's why it's so important, family, to get back to who you are. I really do
Hmm.
believe that. Yeah, I like this conversation. I appreciate it.
So let me ask you a question. With the more awakening that's coming through your plant based beautifulness, how does this scripture? I know, listen, I'm a foodie, so everything is delicious. You know, those are the adjectives I know. But how is it when you are digesting this information? What does it feel like with this new experience?
It just feels different. It feels like, you know, I don't have to tell a lie anymore. I understand it. It just yeah, it makes me feel more empowered and it makes me feel like I am supposed to be honest about it. I don't feel afraid
Mm,
to say that we were bamboozled, that, that the white supremacy or the system of white supremacy and colonization stripped us of what is inherently ours and that we can change that. And
yes.
and a lot of forgiveness and understanding came up in my quiet time today. So I do forgive people and I understand, but I'm not going to succumb to the teachings of the Western teachings anymore.
Hmm.
I'm not. I
Hmm.
am not at all. I feel empowered to be truthful about myself and I like that. And I am
Hmm.
so grateful for this new awareness and understanding.
Hmm.
And yeah, and it's coming every day, but I'm open to it. And also, I was called to this. So my ancestors dreamt of me. And this new role that I am assuming it was already written. Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm just getting back to myself of who I really am. I'm waking up, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's good. I'm glad for that. I am because it's been a long, rough road of
Oh.
covered eyes and lots of traumas and lots of beliefs that false beliefs about myself and lots of shame and guilt and
Hmm.
just not remembering being,
Hmm.
behind the veil, not remembering who I really am. So now I know my eyes are opening and I can't unsee this. Like you
Yeah.
said, I can't
No,
unring the bell. I can't
you
unknow
just,
this.
you can't. You can't.
There's no
I
way I can
remember
unknow
when
what I know.
you can't. You just can't unknow it. There was, my favorite movie, The Matrix. I know. But there's this part on the Matrix, and it's when Neo wakes up, and it's on the first Matrix, 1999. But he says, "Why does my eyes hurt?" And Morpheus says, "Because you've never used them before." I'm like, "That's right, Morpheus. Damn eyes were shut." And I remember going deeper into my spiritual journey, and I got a hold to a book by my professor turned me on to Jacquemin, and he was an African studies professor. And just going through a lot of his material, I'm like, what? You know, just seeing how colonization and all of those things affected us and being able to have my eyes open, man. I remember calling my professor crying. I'm like, oh God. You wanted me to give up my devil. You wanted me to give up everything I had been blaming. You wanted me to give up my victimhood. You wanted me to stand on my own and say that, no, I am responsible for my journey. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? The church don't teach like that? No. So, yeah, you talking about some dissidents? Girl.
That's so good. It's so funny that you are talking about that because today our leader and medicine woman from the retreat, she sent a book. It's called The Healing Wisdom of Africa.
Okay.
And the author is Malidoma Patrice Somé, and also the author of Water and the Spirit. It's finding life purpose through nature, ritual, and community. And I love, oh my goodness, the community that we have that is built
Hmm.
that I walked into from this retreat is so amazing, and healing in a community keeps you from isolating. I am so used to isolating myself, and I was kind of going through something a couple days ago. And so my first thought was, man, I shouldn't bother the community about this. And no, that is the reason why we have a community, so we can heal in community, guys. We cannot
I
do this
love it.
alone. Yes, we are not
Yes.
to be alone. We were not put here to be alone. That somewhere along the way we've been taught to isolate and every man is for themselves. No, we are to have a community and do this together. We need each other. And so when I reached out and then someone else said, yeah, I was feeling the same way. And this is the reason why we're supposed to do this in community, to heal in community and grow in community. So yes, I'm going to be getting this book, and I got
Okay.
another book. I think I bought both of the books. I did, the author of Water and the Spirit. So I am
Mm.
excited they will be here in the morning and I'm gonna dig right in and yes, it was
You know, I
exactly
love a
what that
good book.
African yes, is what that African professor taught you,
God, yes.
child.
Listen,
Yeah.
yeah, that was an eye-opening experience, but it led me to my esoteric experience. And I'm going to tell you why I think esoteric is a value because it takes the white man out the Bible.
Mm,
It does. Everything is about you. And esoterically, if you can see you, then you got to see the white man. My God, you know,
yeah.
and he
And you
has a
can't
journey
blame it.
and he has a role that he had
Exactly.
to play and his
Mhm,
lineage played. It's all in
mhm,
this beautiful dance of life. Yes, it's hard. It is. Earth school is very difficult, but we have made it through Earth school many a times. So we didn't stop then and we're not going to stop now. And I know
mhm.
our conversation kind of veered into this
It's
place, but I
okay.
just felt led to
Yeah.
say esoterically, you take the white man out of the Bible, you put yourself in the
Yeah.
Bible, whatever color you want, you put it right there in the Bible. And it's about your soul. And that's a more freeing antidote than what we have been given. And what we have been given
Yes.
is a weaponized truth that keeps us stagnant in our growth and keeps us
Yes,
divided.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you cannot
Yeah.
blame the white man. You cannot blame anyone. You cannot. You know why? Because we have chosen to be here on earth. We chose this. Nobody told us we had to come here. Before we were Deborah and Devette, we were souls. And we were like a little
Yes.
of God saying, "Oh, I want to go to earth." This is the truth. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
make this up. I wish I was this
Yeah.
clever. I am not that clever. I'm smart, but I'm not that clever to do this. We chose to be here
We
at
chose it.
this appointed time and other times before this, and probably will
Absolutely.
choose it after. I'm going to hang out in the cosmos for a while when I leave and help and teach and try to teach souls before they get here and be like, y'all, I'm tell you, listen to Mama Zingo, listen to Mama Zingo before you go down there. This what's gonna happen. You know, I'm just gonna try to teach the souls before they get here. Jeez. But
Listen,
I'm
there's this
saying that in a
cartoon that
funny
says,
way, but what?
I'm sorry, I stepped on your words.
No,
There's a little,
it's
I
okay.
said, there's this cartoon that says, prepare. It's like, be prepared. That's what I'll be teaching in my class.
Yes.
101, Earth
Be
101, be
prepared.
pre. Yes,
Please.
yes, because
Yes.
I tell you, there's a lot of tricks and tricks to keep you in the matrix. It's by design, you know,
And
and it's okay.
don't fret. Yeah, it's okay because everyone is going to get there, right? We're all the destination is the journey and we're all going to get
Yes,
there and we all are getting there on our own paths. So if you hear this and it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. Keep on your journey. You're gonna get there. We're all gonna get there. We can't and my daddy used to say that all the time. We all gonna get there. So, just keep going on the journey that is for you at this moment, right?
right, right.
But
Because they can't
yeah,
take it away from you, as Reverend Ike
no, they
would say.
can't take it yes, they can't take it away from you. So, well, you know what? That's going to wrap up our time with everyone and don't forget that we are going to be at the Southern Mystic Girls YouTube channel the next time we talk about this. And I'm gonna be like co-hosting. I'm just gonna be riding the coattail right now because I am just processing all of this experience that I had for a week of plant medicine. I'm serious. I am really, really just having to kind of, go slow a little bit.
Hmm.
My
Pace
ancestors are
yourself.
like, yes, they're guiding me along the way and I am
Hmm.
definitely following the path. So I
Yeah,
love you guys and we will take this conversation to a new channel and I'm so thankful. Don't sleep on the Fear to Freedom Project. I'm still here and this channel is going to continue to bring forth information, love, wisdom that will soothe your soul and help you to remember
yeah.
who you are. Remember who you are. I hope something that we said stirred it up in you too. I, I
Yes.
love that. And so peace and love to you. And we will see you all soon.
Jesus.